All right, so Powell was on about a week ago. The markets are so crazy. Things are going on so quickly that, yes, even I have to catch up. At this particular time in the interview, they had just increased by 25 basis points, 0.25%. Now, we've seen Janet Yellen, and she is a true believer, a true Keynesian believer, and not that bright. But if you had been watching for as long as I have, you'd have known she's not that bright. And she really was just a puppet. As soon as they announced her name, I was like, oh, okay, so they put the puppet in. They don't even have the balls enough to do the job themselves. Powell is not dumb. He has a belief system, but this is a thinking individual. That does not mean he is the puppet master. It just means that even if he is a puppet, he's not a stupid puppet.
Mr. Chairman, can you explain the difference between ongoing rate increases and firming? Does firming imply a rate increase per se, or could policy firm without you increasing rates?
No, I think it's meant to refer to our policy rate. Really, I would focus on the words may and some, as opposed to ongoing. So we clearly were, what we were doing there was taking on board trying to reflect the uncertainty about what will happen. I mean, it's possible that this will turn out to have very modest effects. These events will turn out to be very, very modest effects on the economy, in which case, and inflation will continue to be strong, in which case, the path might look different. It's also possible that this potential tightening will contribute significant tightening in credit conditions over time, and in principle, if that means that monetary policy may have less work to do. We simply don't know. So,
do you have concerns that the hike you did today could further exacerbate the problem in the banks?
No, I mean, with our monetary policy,
All right, that was actually a really good question. And it allowed us to see a little bit into his brain. Because we didn't see filtering. We saw an emotional thought process. It's like, so we're into the belief system. His first response out of it? No. He shifts on his weight, so it makes him a little nervous, but he's giving you his true emotional response.
We're really focused on macroeconomic outcomes. In particular, we're focused on this potential credit tightening and what can that produce in the way of tighter credit conditions. I think when we think about the situation in the banks, we're focused on our financial stability tools, in particular our lending facilities, the discount window, and also the new facility.
So he goes tight-lipped on that after he finishes it up. But none of that was much in filtering. He's literally going off of his emotional. This is his belief. This is what they're doing. And yes, this is part of a belief system. So when you see him do stuff like this, or say things like this, or have policy like this, it is because they actually believe that their path to righteousness is in this direction.
Victoria. Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. I wanted to ask, you, along with the FDIC and the Treasury, the Fed Board decided to invoke the systemic risk exception to allow uninsured depositors to be protected at these two banks. And I was just wondering if you could speak to why that decision was made. Was it purely a confidence issue, or was there a concern that there would be some sort of economic contagion or financial contagion from the failure of these banks?
The issue was really not about those specific banks, but about the risk of a contagion to other banks and to the financial markets more broadly. That was the issue.
Okay, and then can you also, just to follow up, can you speak to the role that you will be playing in the Fed's internal investigation?
He's actually been playing with his mouth as she's been asking these questions. He plays with his mouth. And I honestly can't tell if he's playing with it because he wants to speak and he's trying to hold it in, or if there's some kind of nervous twitch.
On its supervision and regulation? So
Vice Chair Barr is, of course, leading that review, and he's responsible for it in his capacity as Vice Chair for Supervision. I realized, right away that there was going to be a need for a review. I mean, the question we were all asking ourselves over that first weekend was, how did this happen? And so what we did was...
So this is some candid moments. How did this happen? So he puts the responsibility on Barr. We're seeing signs of nervousness. I honestly think that the mouth playing is him being nervous. He's shifting his arms around. He's grabbing the podium. He's not grabbing the podium. He's shifting his weight back and forth. The implications of bailing out everyone with the FDIC as far as depositors are huge, especially when you start realizing those were a lot of foreign depositors.
Early Monday morning, we sat down and said, let's do this, and he was obviously going to lead it in his capacity. So I don't, my role was to announce it, and I get briefed on it, but I'm not involved in the work of it.
Yeah, and he continues to play with his mouth. He's picking at it. I'm starting to think nervousness, stress.
What went wrong? Try to find that. We will find that. And then make an assessment of what are the right policies to put in place so that it doesn't happen again, and then implement those policies. It would be...
I was sitting there watching that, and I scrolled back and forth just to sit there and see how he was, but he does the believe me look quite a bit through this. So not only is he, telling you his emotional stance on things, he's believe me. And you see a lot of nervousness. And at the very end of this, where he talks about implementing their oversight changes, whatever the hell that means, he can't even look at the audience. He wants to get away. Well, it's all quiet in the banking sector these past few days, and we're going into the weekend, and we've seen a real craziness factor going on with the yuan making all these transactions across the world, even in the Western nations.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers.